Mohlolo. I have never heard this before, that if you are speaking your language in South Africa, your indigenous language, you are an embarrassment, right? I have never heard this before, especially if you are going to speak your language in Soweto, a stadium. You are such an embarrassment and you are a danger to South Africa. Yo, guys, listen to this clip. The whole professor saying this.
But even today, he came to Orlando and spoke entirely in Zulu, right in the middle of Orlando, here in Soweto, because he was addressing his own fellow Zulu speakers, folks who used to live in the hostels here.
Professor
so, yes.
Let me ask this. Is this not dangerous though? Should we not be addressing this as a country to say this is wrong? Because if we allow it, as you put it, and we commentate about it, it's not going to stand us in good stead, because we know what ethnic violence does. We only have to look at examples, not only ourselves, pre-1994, but you have to look at Kenya, which has given us recent examples of what post-election violence based on ethnicity does.
It is a bad thing, but we must make sure that our institutions function optimally. People must not lose faith in the government to a point where they trust individuals who are like them. Therefore, he will care for us. No. Institutions must work properly. If they do that, then you kind of reduce the appeal of these messianic figures. But we must continue to talk about it. Refuse to be shut down by these demagogues. They want us to believe that what we are seeing is not real. It is real. Jason is a tribalist. His entire support is built on ethnicity. Ethnic support, vote for someone similar to you. They went to Nazareth, for instance, KZN leadership. They wouldn't vote for anyone other than a Zulu person, ANC people. So the ANC, today they're turning around, pretending to be surprised. They created this monstrosity, including Ogwede at Polokwane, when people were singing Zulu warrior songs at a national ANC conference. They supported it. They supported it throughout. So it's a monstrosity, unfortunately, that is coming to bite us, to bite all of us. But you are correct. We must talk about it. We must implement measures that undermine its appeal. But it is certainly a danger.
Again, Khuzeni Uxoli Mgambi, I am so disappointed. This person is a poison with Umxolisi wakhe. They are a poison. Just because they think they are learned, they are imposing their learnedness, if there's such a word, to us. Why should we listen to them? Why can't we make up our own mind? I mean, for him, Umcebisi, to mention that Uzuma was addressing his friends that used to live in my hostel. Khuzani Umcebisi no Mgambi. Honestly, this is a very poor and disappointing commentary. It's not building. It doesn't do anything for this country. They are not even aware that they are the one who are perpetuating the narrative of violence. They are the one. Jacob Zuma never announced announced violence yesterday, but they are the one who are perpetuating the narrative. People who listen to this, honestly, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. I was watching Ilona YouTube channel ga Black Pen, where he was crying, talking about Zuma singing, like international singing in his Zulu, showing that how proud he is to be a Zulu boy, how proud he is to be who he is. But he was so crying. I wonder if he can hear this, what is he going to feel like? The whole professor, Yase University of Johannesburg, talking like this, I've run out of words. But yeah, guys, tell me what you think about Uxoli Mgambi. Newsroom presenters, they are so unbelievable. To be specific, Uxoli Mgambi, Linda Mnisi, I give up on them. Those two, shame.
Some of these IC stuff I knew, they get confused sometimes, but everybody's there, they can pick up all these mistakes. So the objections, the complaint at times are kind of fabricated. Fabricated because people want to increase their numbers through intimidation, threatening violence. The IC is the only body, we're a country of rules. We have a constitution. We have rules, we have all sorts of things that guide us on what to do on each and every aspect of our public life. And part of this includes IEC looking at these complaints and saying, well, there's nothing here. If the IEC says there's nothing here, then that goes, and the IEC must declare the elections. So whoever doesn't accept it, then it is his business, really, because the rules are there. They've been shown that there's nothing here. And so you would expect that sound-minded people would accept this.
There is that particular graphic. 58 seats. In fact, they are now party number 3. They're the third biggest party in Parliament. You have written an article saying that you thought the MK party would be exceedingly content with its performance, but that's not the case. Is this typical behavior of political parties during an election, or is it something specific about the MK party, about why it is that it is rejecting this outcome?
Well, they said they would get a 2/3 majority, which they didn't get. So they're trying to fabricate an excuse or an explanation as to why they didn't get it. The mere existence of this party, the fact that they've gotten this much support, is a sad indication or indictment about our own country. Because this is purely based on ethnicity. I've heard all the protestations. I mean, I've been following this thing for a while now. JZ's candidacy is built on ethnicity. And it started way back at Polokwane, for instance. You had folks from KZN singing in Dam at Polokwane, embarrassing KZN leaders. They had to be told, right? Mm-hmm. His campaign, 100% Zulu boy, and the entire KZN leaders, for instance, would go around supporting JZ, saying it's now time to elect a Zulu person. That's what they did with the ANC. And they continued to do that. When, in 2009, when everybody else was saying JZ is bad news, KZN voted for JZ in huge numbers because he is one of their own. But even today, he came to Orlando and spoke entirely